he had never lived with his father, Eddie was missing him nonetheless.
He actually shot a person, and he didn't mean to, but when I see him again, I'm to live with them and be with them together so he can go to the park and the museum.
His youngest son cries sometimes because he doesn't have his father around, and there's some things that he really needs to be in his life for.
But Bonds has had a tough time following the rules in prison as well. His last infraction was for attempting to intimidate an officer. That, along with 3 urine tests that proved positive for marijuana, has cost Bonds visitation privileges with his family. He had only recently gotten them back, but with restrictions.
So right now I'm on non-contact status. It's like through the phone and the glass.
How did you react when your son told you that he wasn't going to have contact visits anymore?
Well, I was upset at first, and I even threatened him to not even bring his kids up here, you know. And I was very upset with him. Matter of fact, I was so upset with him I couldn't think straight.
Bonds acknowledged that his actions, both in and out of prison, don't set the best example for his children.
And it's like, how can I tell you guys to be good and do good in school and stay out of trouble, and every time you come and see me, I'm on restriction from visits, or I can't have visits because I'm in trouble. And they're like, well, you're kind of a hypocrite, Dad. You know, you're telling me to be good, but you're not being good.
Our crew caught up with Bonds shortly before his first visit with his children and parents in months.
Your clothes are pressed, your boots look like shiny new.
You want to look kind of speed because it is a special day. You know, because your family do come, they have came from so far. It puts a smile on their face and see, okay, you are doing okay. You know, because they worry about me here.
But first, Bonds would need to pass pre-visitation security measures, starting with his freshly pressed clothes.
All right, do me a favor, go ahead and completely disrobe.
Despite the fact that he will not have physical contact, Bonds, like every other Indiana inmate, is strip searched prior to visitation.
All right, this time open your mouth, please. Put your fingers in, spread your cheeks apart. Upper lip up, please. Lower lip down. Can you look inside your nose, please?
Authorities must ensure that inmates are not attempting to pass contraband to the outside.
Turn back around, squat, cough. All right, go ahead and get dressed.
Meanwhile, the Bonds family has to pass through security as well. And even though it was nearly a 3-hour drive to get here, Jerry Bonds Sr. feels it's worth it.
When a person is down, you really have to be there for them, you know? So what we try to relay back to Jerry is that we hope you get out of here sometime soon. And then when you do get out, you know, to pick up where you left off and show these kids that they're not just coming up here for, you know, nothing at all.
I'm just anxious, man. I want to see him so bad. I wish I could touch him and hug him, but I guess this is better than nothing.
Finally, the waiting is over.
What's up, man?
What's up?
How y'all doing? Y'all looking cute.
Thank you.
Look up, let me see you. Let me get a smile, man. I ain't seen you in a while. How you doing in school? Which grade you going to, Eddie?
Well, the hardest part is like seeing him behind the glass and he's in here and stuff. So I really want him to get out.
When his kids can't hug him, like I told him, he's hurting his kids. You know, I can stand the hurt, but sometimes kids can't.
What's wrong with Granddaddy? Let me speak to him.
Hold on.
What's going on, man?
Hey, what's happening, Dad? How you doing?
Staying strong?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, thanks for bringing him up for me, Dad, man.
Well, I want to let him know that we love him no matter what, but make it easier on us when we come up here. We're in here with you. Don't make it to where we are locked up, being locked up. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, have I ever told you I loved you? Have I ever told you I loved you? I love you guys. And I'm sorry, okay? Would you guys forgive me?
Limited to only 30 minutes, the visit hardly seems to have begun when it's time to leave.
I love you. Y'all be good. Bye-bye.
All right, stay strong.
Yes, sir. I'm praying, hoping that this is the last time they had to come up here like this and see me behind the glass, because it's not a good feeling. Not a good feeling.
I just feel about when I don't see him anymore, I get sad, and when I see him, I get happy.
I want him to be here, and then I don't want him to be here. I want him to like learn his lesson while he's here, so that when he comes home, he knows right from wrong and know what to do and know what not to do.
As a mother, I'd like to just touch him and are you okay? I want to give him a hug. And I haven't been able to do that, but I know one day I will.
Coming up on Lock Up Raw, Prison Love.
I love him to death. I'd do anything for Brad, anything, short of killing somebody again.
The family bonds that lead to murder, and later.
One of the first things that I noticed was something that I never thought that I'd seen a million years on a prison yard. And that's all of the cats.
When inmates adopt.
Especially when they're little babies and you can raise them up, pet them, you feed them, you watch them grow, and that's your cat.
The bond one inmate might develop with another is often the only thing that helps them survive the bleak existence of a life behind bars. In some cases, those bonds have existed their entire lives. Over the years, lockup crews have discovered a surprising number of family members serving time together. But few have ever had to face the difficult circumstances that confronted Yvette and Doris Gay.
Being on death row was like I needed to be with my sister.
The identical twins, both convicted of murder for helping Yvette's former boyfriend carry out a triple homicide, were sent to the North Carolina Correctional Institution for Women. Doris got a life sentence. Yvette was condemned to die. She told us about her first day on death row.
I began to hear hurls and insults when I first got in the gate. I began to hear people talk about, oh, she's got sentenced to death. Oh, she's gonna die for the crimes that she committed.
Even though they were housed at the same prison, the women were prohibited from seeing one another. But occasionally, Doris would catch a fleeting glimpse of Yvette.
And I would go by the chapel, and I see my sister. She'll be in the window, and I walk by with a group of ladies, and everybody would say, well, Doris, there's your sister. And I said, God, there she is. And I said, Lord, I wish she was out here, And I hated to go by there just to see her, and it would hurt my heart, and I would ache.
After 6 years of separation, Yvette's punishment was reduced to a life sentence, meaning she could leave death row and reunite with Doris.
I was so excited for her, and she came and hugged me, and we were crying and kissing and hugging, and oh, it was like a great reunion. I started crying. I got emotional, and I just began to praise God.
Though they can see each other on the yard, prison officials won't let the sisters share a cell for security reasons.
They think we're the same person in the same dorm, the officers, and they get confused.
It's interesting and kind of unusual for corrections because if you're not paying attention, you don't know who you're talking to. Is one of the reasons why we house them separately.
Look, look. Yeah, you look wonderful. You look wonderful.
Yeah. That's my only brother. We're really close, we're really tight. We eat together, we live together, we work together.
Our visit to the Anamosa State Penitentiary in Iowa led us to another memorable pair of siblings, Michael and Brad Love, whose lifelong allegiance drove them to kill.
Growing up, I wanted to be him. He's almost 4 years older than me, and I see him running around drinking and breaking into stuff and doing whatever he's doing, and I'm like, I'm gonna be like him. That's my big brother, that's my idol. And so, I kind of followed in the same footsteps.
But as the Love brothers revealed to our crew, those footsteps led down a bloody path that ended at a holiday party in their trailer park.
It was Christmas night, 1992. Me and my brother went to a party with what we thought were friends, but they tried to rob us to take the liquor that we had brought.
And they just started beating me up. There was like 4 of them.
They hurt Brad. I couldn't let him get away with that. They threatened his life, and I couldn't handle that. So we left, went to my trailer. I got a shotgun, my brother got a knife, a machete, and we went back out there and did what we did.
I remember Mike standing there and he had the gun pointed up at the door of the trailer. And one of the dudes looked out the window and he was like, "F you," or whatever he said, and boom, then he shot.
So I shot 3 people, he cut up 2.
We were both charged with first-degree murder, which carries a life sentence in Iowa. And that's it. Life means you don't ever get out.
But Michael wasn't prepared to see his brother suffer that fate.
Brad didn't kill anybody. I'm the one that shot and killed the guy. So I didn't think it fair for him to spend the rest of his life in prison. They come to me and say if I pled guilty to first-degree murder, they would plea bargain him down to a lesser time. So he plea bargained down to 125 years, which to me that's still excessive, but it's better than a life sentence. He gets to go home where I'll probably end up dying in prison.
Does that make you feel?
Makes me feel like a piece of really, man. Here, my only brother, and because of something we did, and we did it together, and you know, he takes responsibility for his own actions. I don't know, man, it makes me feel like I'm that tall because I let it happen.
I think in my mind that he's here because of me, so I carry that guilt around every day. He was 18, he turned 18 in county jail. He had a whole life ahead of him. He could have been a pro football player or a rock star, whatever he wanted to be. And I feel in my mind and my heart that I ruined that for him. And there's no way to explain how much guilt I carry around.
The Love brothers were initially incarcerated together at another Iowa prison. But once again, Brad followed Michael, and the result was more violence.
The last fight that we got into, this guy told on my brother for smoking weed. Mike told me, he said, "Here, I'm gonna go beat him up." He's like, "I want you to shoot jiggers, watch out for us." I said, "All right." So I was standing outside the cell, and Mike goes in there, and I don't know what made me do it, but I look in the window, and it was only supposed to be one dude in there, but there was 2 guys, and they was trying to get on Mike, and I was like, no, you know, that ain't gonna happen. So I ran in there, and I grabbed the other dude, and beat him up pretty bad, and then they shipped me out, and then that was it. Yeah, it sucked.
Brad was transferred to Anamosa, only to find a long-lost relative was already doing his own time there.
My father was in here messing with kids, and, you know, I ain't cool with that. And he tried talking to me, but I told him, I said, "Dude, I just can't, I ain't got no respect for you for what you did."
I hate that. That's the worst crime that you can do, including the crime that I did of murder. I think that's worse.
In 2003, their father died of a heart attack while still incarcerated. When their mother became ill, authorities approved Michael's request to be moved closer to her home, which reunited the brothers at Anamosa.
I was just excited to see him again, man. It was, you know, it's my brother. Can't ask for a better to hang out with.
The Love brothers may have found their place, but as we learned, their bond has yet to face its ultimate test.
I'll never see him again. Once he gets out of prison, that's it. I'll never be able to visit my brother again because of Iowa law. Anybody on paper or parole can never visit anybody while they're incarcerated.
Yvette and Doris Gay know all about that. Since our visit to the North Carolina Correctional Institution for Women, Doris has been paroled. The soonest she will be allowed to visit Yvette is in 2012, when her probation expires. Brad and Michael Love have more time. Brad is currently eligible, but has not yet made parole.
So we're going to spend as many years together here as we can. I love him to death. I'd do anything for Brad, anything, short of killing somebody again.
Coming up on Lock Up Raw, Prison Love.
These cats is their kids. And you mess with one of the cats, I mean, these cats is their family. That's all they've got.
The special bond between prisoner and pet.
It's like anything, treat with love and respect, it'll treat you with love and respect back.
The social center of almost every prison is the yard. It's the rare space where inmates socialize, exercise, and occasionally fight to the death. But lockup crews have found that on some yards, Even at dangerous maximum security institutions, inmates have found something to fill their hearts with love and nurturing, just not for each other.
This is Bane. This is my buddy cousin, Ted.
Nobody's family home cat I could see could be happier than these cats in here.
One of the first things that I noticed when walking out of the yard in Kentucky was something that I never thought that I'd seen in a million years on a prison yard. And that's all of the cats. They were all over the place.
Nobody remembers exactly when dozens of stray cats began to adopt Kentucky State Prison as their home. And as our crew discovered, the inmates were more than happy to adopt the cats as pets.
Especially when they're little babies and you can raise them up, pet them, you feed them, you watch them grow, and that's your cat.
They're like a kid. It was really amazing to see all of these felons, the guys that were in the state's maximum security penitentiary, with cats climbing all over them. They had them up on their shoulders, they were petting them constantly, and it was really interesting how the inmates had developed very, very nurturing relationships with these cats.
We've got all kinds of cats, and you've got these guys here that these cats is their kids. And you mess with one of the cats, I mean, it's just like messing with my kids at home. I mean, these cats is their family. That's all they've got.
And like any proud parent, the inmates shared photos of their favorite felines.
We cat lovers up here. Now here comes one. This is a monster right here.
People had specific cats, and if you didn't want anything to happen to that cat, the last thing you were going to do is commit an act of violence that would send you to segregation where you couldn't care for it anymore. So in this funny little way, the cats contributed to a lower level of violence on that yard.
The vet comes once a month. You can buy dry food and medicine and toys and stuff like that.
So guys work hard at their jobs to earn their money, and they'll spend it on.
And sometimes their bet deal's 60, 70, 80 bucks, takes everything they've got. Red, I wish you cats would get together and get rid of some of these rats we got running around this yard, man.
Like rats, man. Yeah.
The people rats. Now, you leave the little bitty mice alone.
We found an even more unlikely bond at California State Prison, Corcoran.
It's like anything, treat with love and respect, it'll treat you with love and respect back.
We were just kind of out on the yard shooting, and I looked over and I saw these guys petting something. And at first I thought it was like a kitten, and it ended up it was a gopher that they had tamed.
We shampoo them, give them a little bath, so they don't bring the dirt mites in, and play with them, and let them run around in our cells, feed them apples, lettuce, take care of them, and they're good little pets. It's like the best companion I've ever had.
A lot of the guys that we ran into have probably never had anybody, to love, or anything or anybody to love them. And, when you run into somebody who is, adopted a gopher and it gives him some sort of outlet for affection, it's got to be a good thing.
But we found a very different case of inmate-creature bonding inside California's San Quentin State Prison.
I'm Mike Miller is my real name, and the staff here call me the Birdman of San Quentin. The first day I got here at San Quentin, the birds seemed to have flocked to me for some reason. And I don't know, they probably think I'm the Birdman of Alcatraz. Maybe they're mistaken because he has a shaped head too.
Miller was serving an 8-year sentence for burglary when he proudly showed us his cell, a virtual shrine to his winged friends.
And ever since I've been here, the birds just come up to me like they know me. I got them landing on my shoulders and my hands, and, different kinds of birds, not just pigeons, but I got the different kinds of blackbirds, like the finch and the redwing landing on me. I think the birds is a good way of releasing a lot of tension and anger. And before I got arrested, my girlfriend used to chase the birds away. She didn't want me around, and so now I'm in here, I have a chance to mingle with the birds. And basically that's about the only friends I got, but birds, I can't trust anybody else.